there's a sort of element to the lore that I realized a little while ago, and a sort of question that I've been considering since I realized this. And it's not anything that obscure, and it's not actually that groundbreaking to have noticed this, but I think it's something that didn't quite click for me until earlier this year. The Scaled and Icy era introduced DEMA to the band 21 Pilots. And on the surface level, you go, yeah, of course, right? Scaled and Icy, that album, the live stream and everything, exists within DEMA. But I think the implications of that statement are fascinating in a lot of ways. Now, we don't necessarily know what the implications are, but what can be drawn from that could tell us more about the lore and certainly lend a different perspective to this world and the story. There's this poster of the live stream experience performed by 21 Pilots and presented and hosted by the DEMA org. So that sort of solidifies in canon, in the lore, that the bishops of DEMA, the DEMA org, the leaders of the city, presented this band, 21 Pilots, to their citizens. Now, obviously, they did so very carefully. They did so through a propaganda piece live stream and a propaganda album, Scaled and Icy. And certainly this was also done while Clancy was under the control of the bishops. And this also solidifies beyond any reasonable doubt that Clancy and Tyler are one and the same. Because in the live stream experience, the hosts refer to the band members as Tyler and Josh. But we see in Clancy's letters that it is Clancy who is putting on this show. So Clancy and Tyler are connected. They are one and the same. They are the ones putting on the live streaming experience. Obviously, like I just said, this is all a propaganda piece. Scaled and Icy is a piece of propaganda further pushing forward the bishop's narrative and what they want the citizens to believe. But again, the implications of this are fascinating because as soon as the bishops introduced 21 Pilots, the band, to their citizens, what else comes along with that? Again, we don't know for sure, but there's a very real sense in which it is very likely 21 Pilots, not just in the sense that they wrote Scaled and Icy, but in the sense of their entire discography, the entirety of that band exists within DEMA, in canon, in the lore. And while the bishops of DEMA might have made the rest of their discography contraband for the citizens to enjoy, they can only listen to Scaled and Icy, it's a very real possibility that the rest of their albums do exist inside this world. And it gives further credence to the idea that Drag Path could also be a song which exists inside this world, maybe exists on a USB stick or a cassette or something that the citizens of DEMA can find and engage with and use, right, to help the next Clancy in his attempt to find and discover what is going on here, who Nico really is, and so on. So I don't know that I have all that much more to say on this particular piece of the story, and certainly if any of you have further thoughts, chime in. But I think beyond anything else, it's important to remember and just point out, because it took me longer than it should have to for this to click, for me to understand the implications that 21 Pilots, the band, exists within DEMA. That means they, not just in Scaled and Icy, but in all their music, could very well exist within DEMA. And while the citizens of DEMA might not know about their other music, the Banditos might. Banditos might have access to all the other albums that they wrote, including Trench. Not much more to say on it other than just something to keep in mind. Something I'm going to keep in mind moving forward. I think it's an interesting aspect to the story and to the world.